Welcome
to Sleepdrunk.
to Sleepdrunk, where my living hell is coming to a close.
Yeah, it's pretty fun at school, which is why I'm not there.
Yep. So this episode is going to be a quasi-special. It might actually end up being broken up into two parts, depending on certain life things for me. So you'll find that out if this is published. If it's short, it was broken up into two parts. If it's long, of the standard length, then it's a single episode. You can expect another full-length episode in 2 weeks.
For a hint, it's going to be a two-part episode.
But this episode is going to be a little bit special. I think we're going to call this the, first edition of the semester debrief series on the show. As you may or may not know, we are both college students, and I think the function of this episode is just kind of to give us space to really talk about how the semester's been, kind of lay it all out, lay it down, just look at it from a meta perspective and hopefully get some advice and get some insights that can help all of you guys, if any of you are college students or maybe no college students. So I guess before we really get going, I'm just going to throw down a few parameters just to kind of set what you guys can expect. We're going to be talking classes, maybe rank the classes, talk about our professors, just some of the highlights, some of the lowlights, extracurriculars, and also I think at the end goals going forward. So Alex, I will let you take it away.
Oh boy, so this semester has, usually it's the spring semester that feels really long, but this one has felt like quite a while.
Honestly, really. For me, it's felt both really, really long and also really, really short.
Yeah, I don't know. I looked really forward to the semester for a few reasons, mainly because we were going to have our own apartment and we were going to, or at least I was going to be taking an ECE class, which last semester my ECE class was really the only class that I, looked forward to going to. And both of those things kind of turned into
Hell.
Yeah.
Hell.
I guess I'll focus more on the conventional college stuff that people care about hearing. So that's the classes. My EC class isn't anything like my other EC class. In fact, it's all about signals, which is just hard, complex math and other topics. Lots of Fourier transforms and other things that aren't fun. And yeah, that combined with university physics too, which is not an easy class, and then combine that with the fact that our university's physics department is just some
Kind of is.
It really wasn't fun.
Yeah.
Let's see, I didn't have too many credits this semester. I think I had 13. I had the physics 2 lab to go along with that, and then a linear algebra class and a science history class. And I didn't really particularly enjoy any of them, but I did care for some professors more than others, but I guess it's something I'll get used to. And I've gotten used to the workload and everything. I've managed to hold that together fairly well this semester, but it's over now basically.
How would you rank your classes?
Best
to worst, or some metric, feel free.
I think I looked forward to going to, as weird as it is, I looked forward to going to linear algebra the most. And honestly, I don't really think there's any reason for that other than that my professor was just an easy person to listen to. He's the one that I coined as Seinfeld at the beginning of the semester. And he's just a personable guy who knows how to lecture. Even though his lectures didn't jive with my notes at all, and I took horrid notes, I just, it wasn't a bad lecture to just go and sit in. And then after that, my signals class wasn't that bad. As much as I didn't particularly care for what we were doing in there, it was still better than physics. I really hated physics.
Yeah, I could tell.
And I think I put honors maybe before physics, which is the science history class. Because at least I only had to go to it once a week. And it was as boring as it was, and it was not helped by the fact that the professor had a condition which made it so he talked very slowly and quietly. So I definitely fell asleep every time I was there. it was still better than physics because I didn't really have to do anything. You know, he would assign all these readings and have all these quizzes, and I would just forget to do the readings every time and then show up for the quizzes, just write some stuff down, and I passed with an A. Like, the final grade is in, I have an A.
Nice.
You know, I just like sort of tried on my final paper, not really. I wrote a 6-page paper in one day and then turned it in.
Damn.
So, you know, that's behind me. And then physics, I struggled with that. I took my final on Wednesday. I really don't know how well I did. I think I did fine. Like, I know I'll pass, but I'm just hoping that I can pull a B out of it, but I don't know.
I think for context, we are recording on Friday.
Yes.
Is it curved?
Probably not. She has not curved anything in the past.
I mean, I know some professors, like one of the professor I work with, they curve at the end. Like they curve everyone's grades at the end. So it might be like that.
That also could have been what grade looks like B could have done, because I don't know how I would have passed his class otherwise.
I mean, Joseph Hart, I believe the way he curved last semester. So he was my professor last semester, like for the class for Calculus 2, and he's my boss technically now. And so I think he curves based on improvement. So if your like final is really good and your first test was really bad, he'll curve that first one up quite a bit.
That's an interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, because he's a super cool guy and I like him. But I'll talk more about him in my segment, Alex. Keep going.
Well, I've pretty much gotten the classes out of the way. As far as college life goes, to put it short, I found it necessary to go home very often. I was home basically every other weekend with one exception, and sometimes more often.
Yeah, you were. And I feel I have mixed feelings about, like, I know from your perspective it's probably different, but like in my eyes, so if my family were living here, they'd live really close. Like I would be able to get home in maybe half an hour, right? Like I lived within commuting distance of the school. But I just feel like for me personally, like even when things are bad, I prefer just to be on my own because I have autonomy. And like I love being at home and I love my family. But sometimes I guess it's just nice to have a bit of autonomy, and also like I feel like with the line of work I want to pursue, the going home may entail a very expensive plane ticket. So, yeah. But
yeah, I completely understand that, and I like obviously the plane ticket. You know, you can't be buying those every 2 days.
Yep.
And then the autonomy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy that myself, but when the alternative is to live with a maniac, I'm willing to give that up a little
I will
bit.
say, Alex, our apartment has had, well, I think just to get this elephant out of the room, that's like between the two of us. I mean, like this will be in the show, but so to get stuff out of the room, like Alex's like roommates, so the way we are in a 6-person apartment, right, which is on campus, and there are 3 double rooms, so 3 2-person rooms. Alex's roommate has been troublesome. That is the word I will use. That is the word I will stick with. And so I do not blame you. That's what I was gonna say. Is like in that situation, I don't blame you for wanting to go home all the time. I would have too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about where I'm at with college life.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't actually do that much this semester, because I know our first semester of our freshman year, I think this might have been in large part because of where we lived. We lived in the honors dorms, but like they were just like our RAs. Our RA was much more hands-on last semester than our one this year. I think I've spoken to ours twice. Yeah, twice. So I think because of that,
how you've managed to speak to ours twice, because I've only spoken to her about twice.
I mean, because there was a floor meeting a while ago, last week that you weren't at.
I saw the email that said that you have to say that you aren't going to be there, and I emailed her and said that I'm not going to be there. So she just forwarded me this.
So
stuff.
I think I was one of like 5 people that showed up. So I said hello. We talked about the game. There's a game going on. I didn't remember who. I think the 49ers, but like we were talking about the game. So I spoke with her.
Go sport.
And I spoke with her at the first floor meeting because I got there early.
Oof.
So yeah, that has been the extent of it. But so I think last semester RAs were much more hands-on. And so I think that contributed to us doing things like they'd be like, oh, hey, there's a game going on. We're going to go as a floor. Or there's this event happening on the other side of the campus. Let's all go together.
Yeah,
Which was,
nobody really felt motivated to even leave. Like, the most outing we ever did was sort of like go to the store and a few other places maybe in one day. And then it was like, that was a big day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, occasional mall trip, but yeah.
That hardly ever happened, let's be real.
Yeah. Occasional. Like, occasional is in like a couple
And like
times.
sometimes we'd cook instead of going to the dining hall.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any goals for this semester? Like, did you have any like hard goals set?
Or
even just like general like person goals? Like,
as much as I always hear that it's good to set goals, I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I should. I just find it as something extra to do.
Fair. In that case, how would you rank your professors? Because I know that you mentioned you had some professors that were better than others, but
I would rank them in order of the classes.
Okay.
I think, because a lot of the class is the professor, right? The professor makes the class.
Yeah, honestly. So. Like, I think...
Like, there are some circumstances where the professor could be awful, but, like, the class was great, or the other way around. But, like, this is just a great professor that has to teach a horrid class. But this semester, it lined up.
Okay. And so... Actually, because talking about that, I think the reason that I teach Calc, or I help teach Calc 2, is because I had a really good Calc 2 professor, and that made me like the class. So I agree with that, and I think that's been my case as well. I'll talk about it more in my section. But what are you looking forward to next semester? Like, what are your hopes for next semester?
Next semester, well, I'll have a lot more to do.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to manage that.
How many credits?
I think I'm taking a total of 16, and those are all STEM credits. I have 3 electrical and computer engineering classes, 1 computer science class, and 1 math class.
Wait, what CS class are you taking?
That would be CS 222, which is C for engineers.
Okay.
And with all of that workload, if I can manage it, I want to see if I can make myself get into some sort of an extracurricular, because I noticed that this semester, I really, I've battled what's probably depression. I've never, gone to anyone about it for a while now, and I just felt that this semester I've had nothing to look forward to at school.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking maybe I can find that in some sort of a club, or just some sort of extracurricular that I could do to, I don't know, have something fun to do at school.
Okay. No, I totally get that. I mean, I think one of the things for me was that this semester I had jazz band, which was awesome, and like it was stressful, but also I think just being in it was a good outlet. So I would recommend that. I mean, what kind of direction do you want to go to with that?
I want to do something that just doesn't seem like a chore,
Okay.
So something that's in my personal interests, and that's probably going to end up in the more engineering or pushing into CS world.
Are you going to join esports? You gonna become an athlete? You should become an athlete.
I'd rather die.
You have a mechanical keyboard.
I do have a mechanical keyboard. Mostly, I bought it for actually typing, which is why I got MX Blues and not Reds.
See, but like, if you have does it have RGB?
Yes, but I always leave it on the same mode, which is a calming green and blue wave.
Okay, I will say that color set is quite nice. But like what I'm hearing, so it has RGB support, and it's mechanical. All you need to do is fill the cracks in with Doritos and like put on a gamer headset.
They're already filled in with cat hair.
For context, before we started the show, Alex's cat was having some fun. Having a romp.
She's still here having a lot of fun. I was about ready to mention at the beginning of the episode that it would be guest starring her, but she decided to stop rubbing her face against the microphone.
I mean, to be fair, I couldn't actually hear that much of her rubbing her face. That's
probably thanks to the shock mount, but I'm really surprised you didn't hear the purring.
I might have heard a little. I have my volume kind of low because...
Gotcha.
So, an interesting thing from the technical perspective, kind of a tangent. So, when we record the episodes, right, we have headsets on, like headphones, and sometimes the audio will leak into the microphone. So, like, for example, you'll hear Alex talking in his track, and then his audio will leak out through my headphones into my microphone. So there'll be like a mirror that's slightly delayed.
It did it the other way really bad one episode. It probably made the quality of that episode very poor.
I did find out the trick to getting rid of it relatively easily, and that's just a noise gate. But getting a noise gate lined up right is kind of tough. But Yeah, so from technical perspective, like that happens sometimes. And so I had my volume kind of low to try and compensate for that.
Yeah, mine is fairly low.
I have it like
high enough to where I can hear you
3
comfortably.
ticks. Like, yeah, like 2 or 3 ticks. Whatever that is empirically.
Ticks.
Why don't we have a more empirical system for measuring volume?
Yes, because consumerism, like the average person would not really understand the logarithmic decibel scale. They'd just be like, what does that mean?
And also like output devices, like 1 tick on the like laptop speakers is different than 1 tick on my headphones.
Yeah, there's so many different technicalities that would have to go together to make a functional system for measuring audio level, and we just sort of haven't found a need for that. So this is
a tangent within the tangent. I've decided that like working with audio in general is inherently very finicky on computers, and I think that's because
most audio equipment is still very analog.
No, I'm talking from like a software perspective. So the other day, last night, I was helping one of our roommates, Georgia, cut a song up for like she's a dance major, and she's working on this piece and she's choreographing, and so she wanted to cut this section from a piece and then blend it with another section, and like it was very difficult to tell where we were cutting things. Like if it was a classical piece, so if this was done in a DAW or in a DAW, like a proper digital audio workstation, and it was using software instruments, you'd be able to access the master and then like look at like the drum rack and look at how everything was set up and like in the software. But because it was just recorded, it was so hard to cut.
You just had to use waveforms and just ugh.
It's like, I think because sound doesn't even exist as a waveform. Sound, like, take a waveform and then rotate it into 300 into like the third dimension. They're discs. Like that's how sound works. They're like little discs.
Yeah, it's just like air is a compressible substance, so it's just compressed bits of air that happen to like compress and decompress in such a way that your ears interpret that as noise.
Yeah. So like I just think,
and then a computer stores that as a changing sine wave, which I would know all about that, taking ECE, signals and systems or whatever it's called.
Yeah. But so it's like, I just feel like compared to other mediums that are kept on, because like computers, I feel like are inherently visual mediums. Like you use a computer, the main method of receiving information from it is your eyes for most people, right?
Yes, the sound is more of a supplementary, but that's also because to us as people, sound is more of a supplementary.
Yeah, no, of course. But I just think that just makes working with sound much more annoying. Because, like, for example, there's a lot, like, in the world of working with things visually on computers, like, everything from, like, Photoshop to, like, coding, like, the, like, coding IDEs, I almost said, I almost said IED, that wasn't good, IDEs to, like, interfaces.
Is this the retribution of Islam?
I can't say that, I have a flight soon. But, like, I just find that...
Oh, and you have a CIA worker.
Yeah. But I'll talk about that at another point. I'll talk about during Discussion Avenue. But like, I just think that everything's so much more optimized for visuals that when working with audio, everything feels so much more ham-fisted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But closing the tangents, Alex, how do you want to wrap this bit up?
I guess college life is a lot of what you make it, but also a lot of just random crazy outside influences that just are uncontrollable, so you really have to be ready for what life throws you.
Life is unpredictable.
Yes.
Since Java's all up in my face here, I think it's time to put down the stray cat of debate behind the shed of chat on Discussion Avenue.
Oh God.
Yeet.
I mean, I guess I'll have a new pop filter.
Huh?
You'll have a new pop filter. Dead cat pop filters.
Oh yeah, right. Dead cats. Forgot about that. I could throw it on my road and go pester some people with it.
I wonder, like, if like, what if someone's being interviewed and they have allergies?
Just don't have allergies, Alavi.
Yeah. So, Alex, how has your time at home been?
My time at home has been very good. For context, I've just sort of gone home to escape all of the
Madness.
the just crap that's happening at school. So last week, which would be the week of December 1st and 2nd, whatever, do you say the week of Sunday or the week of Monday?
Since our audience is in large part international, I would say week of Monday.
Okay, so the week of December 2nd, that was our last week of classes. So since I don't have Fridays, I just hightailed it out after that Thursday the 5th. And I've been doing like nothing. I've just been sitting here vegging in my chair doing ridiculous amounts of programming basically every day that I've been home. Except I went to school Tuesday the 10th, and very late. I got there at probably 9:30, spent the night. That's a whole nother long story. We can get into that if you feel it's necessary later.
Go for it. I mean, okay. I'd say we'll say Alex's roommate's troublesomeness has led to there. Go ahead.
Yeah, the troublesomeness has led to many things that none of us want to deal with. So, in short, I slept on the floor in Alavi's room.
We had a sleepover.
Yes, a nice, fun sleepover. And then I got up. Well, actually, you were up earlier.
Yes,
because you had a 7:30 exam.
I had a morning exam.
But after you were out of your shower for your 7:30 exam, which was early enough, I just decided to get up at 7 and get all of my stuff, which I had conveniently already placed in the living room right by the door, if that gives you any indication, and collected photos of everything that I left in my room in case anything happens to it.
Anything troublesome happening.
Anything troublesome, yes. And I took all of my items to my car, and then I just went and sat in other places on campus.
Yes.
When I wasn't in my 2 exams, and then I left.
Yes, and at one point after my first exam, we met at Panera Bread for a little bit.
Yes, and just studied.
I ate egg.
A lot of egg.
Yeah.
And I went and sat in 95 traffic, which is my favorite activity on Earth.
It's very fun.
Besides sleeping on the floor because of a troublesome roommate.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, was the blanket that I loaned you good? What were your thoughts on that blanket?
It is very soft, and it is warm for how thin it is.
Yeah.
But I do wish I would have folded it over, but I was just too tired. I just
Fair.
had my sweatshirt on and dealt with it.
Fair.
Because, I'm already sleeping on pillows that are thrown on the floor. So, it's as glamorous as you're going to make that.
Yeah.
And then I came back home, and I've just been programming all day yesterday and all day today.
Been an epic hacker boy?
Yeah, so I made a new customer portal. In case you aren't aware, I have a business.
Yes.
So I made a website where my customers can log in and see their records securely, and they're not just stored on a server. Which it wasn't like a whole lot of information that I guess shouldn't be stored on a server, but it probably would not be something that you would choose to put open on a server, which, there's no direct link to it or anything.
Yeah.
But still, probably not a good idea. But now I entirely figured out how to write asynchronous JavaScript and use Node.js, which I'm not even going to bother explaining it, because that's explaining Node to someone that isn't a CS-minded person is so complicated. I don't really know how to explain what Node is to them.
I think explaining coding things to people who don't code is hard.
Usually it's easier than Node. I found that Node and JavaScript in general is really hard.
That's fair. Because because JavaScript isn't a conventional coding language.
It's pretty weird, yeah. Because most people think JavaScript and they think, oh, well, that's just
Java.
little tiny scripts that run on web pages and make buttons blinky and stuff on my web page. No. JavaScript is now responsible for most web apps that you use online.
Yeah. But what if you want to enable Flash Player?
Yikes. But it's they've found a way to make it run server side, which honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm surprised that Python didn't become the new standard for it, which Python is used for it apparently sometimes, but JavaScript is really the prevailing language for that. So I don't know. It replaced PHP. Thank God. PHP's awful.
In my limited amount of like web-oriented coding, I can say PHP is terrible.
Like,
It's
okay,
so
PHP
bad.
is good at one thing. That is single-page applications, and not the conventional kind of thing, single-page applications, which just happen to be one page that's actually like lots of things. I mean, literally a contact form that sends an email.
Yes.
That's it. Because otherwise, when you start trying to scale PHP, it doesn't scale, and you end up with a mountain of spaghetti that is called code.
Yep. Spaghetti code.
Which is currently what one of my clients' websites is, and it's horrifying because it just died the other day, and I had to go dig through the spaghetti and find the meatball.
If you're curious about Alex's business, backpage.com, you can go there, and that is his business.
What? What is that? I'm now
Backpage is an
concerned.
escort site that was shut down by the FBI because it was helping people get prostitutes.
Oh, that's fun. I cannot say I've heard of that.
Oh, it was a super big deal. I mean, the Backpage bust happened a while ago, like a couple of years ago, but it was a big deal.
Yeah, like this is like you trying to pull up LimeWire or something on me. It's like, this is really not
I mean, it
relevant.
was like, I think 2014 or 15.
I had more Minecraft to play than Backpage to worry about then.
Actually, let me look up when Backpage was shut down. When was Backpage shut down?
Yeah, basically, I made that customer portal. That took me forever. JavaScript web development, well, I mean, just like web development, or probably just any development that isn't basically a simple website, takes ages, especially when you're learning it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And asynchronous code is really weird too. Thanks callback hell for existing, which is actually like a term that's used in the JavaScript development world. And then also one of my newer clients, I've been still working on their website and I haven't deployed it yet, but I'm nearly done. But yeah, programming.
Yep,
That's been my last 2 weeks.
And I think it was actually shut down in April of 2000. No, kind of in April of 2018. No, it was April of 2018. Yeah, so it's actually quite recent. Yeah. So Backpage was shut down April of 2018. Remember, because there's an SVU episode on it, and I thought it was from a much earlier season, but it wasn't. Because they were like, this lady was like, after they shut down Backpage, everything went underground. I was like, hey, that's relevant. But yeah, backpage.com, that's Alex's business. Currently seized by the federal government, but we're looking to get it back up soon.
Yeah, my other one got seized by him too, Kick-Ass Torrents. I don't understand why they keep taking my stuff down.
Yeah, like, I don't get it.
They're personally attacking me.
Yes. I mean, because you had it in, according to Wikipedia, English, Spanish, German, French, Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Norwegian, Russian, Chinese, Finnish, Italian, Dutch, Swedish, and Turkish.
It's impressive for a prostitution site.
Yeah, I mean, I think it started out as just a classifieds site that became a prostitution site.
It was just like Craigslist, and then
It was started
like
in 2004.
Craigslist.
I'm on the Wikipedia page. This will be in the show notes. Is this okay to put in the show notes? It's probably fine.
The Wikipedia page?
Yeah, the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. I will say, Alex, that was a bit of a Michael maneuver. Like, just saying,
What?
like not knowing about Backpage, because,
I'm sorry, I don't hire escorts, my dude.
but just like
I
being
don't- I
knowledgeable,
don't have any
like
reason to
knowing
know
what's going
Backpage is.
on the internet. Just gotta know what's on the internet, you know, like what's happening, like what's the latest
It's probably
Fortnite.
one of those places I just refuse to go anyway. Like, I just don't go to 4chan. I have no use for that. Like, some people go and just browse it for fun. I don't.
Yeah, see, I go there every now and then if I'm really, really
I
bored.
literally don't. I've been there like once.
See, here's the thing. Most of 4chan is pretty benign. It's just the B board.
No,
like,
I know.
Yeah.
But it's still like,
Like most of
I'm
it's just
good.
kind of inferior Reddit.
Yeah.
Like it's just Reddit, but with a worse
fair.
UI.
Also, I just don't do a whole lot of digging. I just stick to Reddit and whatever else I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like Stack Overflow. Thank God that it exists.
Stack Overflow. Are you on Hacker News?
I get annoying articles from them on Google, and I wish they would stop.
Yeah. I mean, I think CGP Grey is a big fan of Hacker News, but he's CGP Grey.
Yeah.
He's an
He
enigma.
also has like a horrid home screen.
Okay, so
Like, I love CGP Grey, but fix your home screen.
okay,
my
no,
guy.
so this has been like fifth degree nested tangent. So CGP Grey, famous podcaster, YouTuber, man of many talents. Since the from the first episode of Cortex, like that's like I think his biggest podcast. From the first episode, the very first episode, him and his co-host Mike with a Y, they compared their home screens. And at the time, Gray's home screen was still pretty minimal. It was like a single page with a couple of like a bunch of folders and like only the most used apps, right? And so, having been a fan of Cortex for a while, I think since 2017, I've been watching his home screen evolve into more and more minimalistic forms until very recently, in the latest episode of State of the Apps 2020, a picture of his home screen was put up. And so he uses an iPhone. In the dock, which is like the lower bar, there's just a little picture of a rocket ship, which is a Siri shortcut. And at the top, there's 4 folders, each with 1 visible app. And that's it.
The folder with 1 app thing is really what's ticking me off there. Like, I know that he has his reasons for having the launcher rocket ship thing. And like,
no. So
I can sort of get that. While I wouldn't do it myself, I can sort of get that. But the folder with 1 app thing is really what does it to me. Like... Sure, there could be multiple pages, but just the look of that, it looks so dumb.
See, I feel like if you pick like
I feel like it's
gray apps
evolving
for
into
the
a practical
front,
joke. I feel like he's trying to like seriously convince everyone that that's what he uses, but he knows deep down that that's just
Here's
like,
the thing.
something that he did.
For what it's worth, he hasn't left his house in a month. I think, roughly.
Like gone outside or just left his property?
I think he's gone outside to like take out the trash.
That's miserable.
Okay, no, let me explain. So he this is just kind of like Cortex recap, but a couple of months ago, he canceled the lease on his like office space that he was using because he was going on like a big trip to the US because he lives in London, and he wasn't using the office space that much anyway, so he just canceled his contract, his like lease with them, and so he moved to like a home office.
It was sort of like a WeWork type place, wasn't it?
I don't think it was owned by WeWork, but it was like that kind of idea. Like he had like a
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it wasn't WeWork, but it was something similar.
Yeah. It was just like I don't think it was a co-working space, but he had like his own little room. But so he canceled his subscription, like his lease with them, and so he just kind of set up his home office, and so he just works from home, and he just doesn't have much of a need to go outside, I guess. Like I think he goes to the gym sometimes.
You just never want to go outside? You just like go walk, get some fresh air, go to the store to get food?
In the UK, apparently delivery services are like, at least in London, like they're a lot more affordable and a lot more like easy to jump into, I guess.
I just wouldn't want to. I'd want to get out.
But also because his wife is traveling, and so he has no reason to leave. Like his wife has been traveling.
That's kind of a boomer statement, but
I mean, when the wife is out, you gotta sit on the couch and like
get out. I
drink
just
beer.
want to get out because I don't want to sit in my house for a month straight. That's something you tell someone and they're like,
he
"Are
lives
you
in
okay?"
a London apartment. Like it's very small.
Yeah. Wow.
But regardless, his life, he's successful, so he does what he does.
Yeah.
He's eccentric.
He's also becoming a slave. Like I'd say, like if I know he's not, but if you're listening to this, just watch your sanity. Keep it in check.
Yeah, Gray, we care about you.
Yeah.
Sleepdrunk cares. Hashtag Sleepdrunk cares. Get it on social. Tweet us at Sleepdrunk
be
PC.
like Comcast and put that on our Twitter. Sleepdrunk cares. Just
God.
that's like going to be our support handle, and then we'll get back to you in a month, and then we'll just tell you like, have you tried restarting it?
Yeah. Have you unplugged it and plugged it back in?
Have you tried not using your router?
Like, do you need the internet? Like, do you really need it?
Yeah, like, do you really need it? You just like pay us the bill and we'll just turn it off.
Yeah, like it's like you could use the internet, or you can have like $30, like go to Olive Garden. Like I don't know. You can phone in and make reservations. You don't need the internet.
Boy.
Would you rather have internet or an extra Olive Garden meal per month?
I'd never go to Olive Garden. The only time I've ever been to Olive Garden was one time when I was many years younger. I decided that that's where I wanted to go for my birthday, and then they kind of like forgot that our table existed. And it was already bad because my dad has some sort of extreme hatred towards Olive Garden. I think something happened to him at an Olive Garden, like some bad experience with customer service or something years and years and years ago. And he brought that mindset into this one. And then they like forgot that we were there and never put our food in. So
see, in my case,
that's Olive Garden.
When I was a lot younger,
not again.
We could only ever afford to eat at Olive Garden like every now and then, so it would always be my birthday place. And like even
I
after,
also just never eat out ever.
Yeah.
So,
but like it just like I have a lot of fond memories attached to it, even though the food is like okay, like at best, like it's not great. It's okay. Like their breadsticks are really good.
it's like more expensive Applebee's with Italian food.
Well, okay, I will say the atmosphere is a lot better. The atmosphere is so much better than Applebee's. The atmosphere is nice. They play jazz music. I like
Applebee's,
that.
there's just a guaranteed kid crying.
Yeah, like don't go to Applebee's. A message from Sleepdrunk.
It's just
Applebee's.
sad. It's just
Applebee's
a
can eat
sad
a
place
dick.
to be.
Who goes to Applebee's besides sad people?
That's actually like a proven fact.
Yeah,
in case we haven't mentioned that a million times on here, it's just a thing. Other than that, I don't know. Somebody that's trying to eat out, but not fast food, but still really cheap, I guess. But even though it's not that cheap.
Yeah. Applebee's.
Yeah, that's just the takeaway from this. Hey everyone, Editing Alex here. That's the end of the first part of episode 35. Stay tuned for the second part, which will come out in 2 weeks. That's December 28th, where Alavi goes through his reflection on last semester and his comments on Discussion Avenue. As per usual, the Sleepdrunk podcast can be found on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and more. So we'll see you in part 2.